poor boy finds millionaire's wallet but leaves the man surprised when he asks for this in return. Hector Sousa, a millionaire, was returning from a tourist trip to San Diego, California, when he realized his wallet was no longer in his pocket. Hector was a philanthropist and a member of Mexico's super-rich elite. Since the 1990s, he has invested in large retail chains while raising large sums of money to provide clothing, food and medical care to people in his country and throughout Latin America. That day, the millionaire visited a tourist attraction on America's west coast with his daughter, Margarita Sousa, who had just turned 18. She requested a celebration in the US when she reached adulthood. The man planned the entire trip for the businessman and his daughter, Margarita. They'd seen Disney, driving through Los Angeles, and were now in San Diego, where they'd just returned from Coronado Island and planned to visit the zoo or water park the next day. Despite being a popular tourist destination, Coronado had a poor neighborhood with a large Mexican population, and Hector wanted to get to know its streets and people. Margarita was upset that her father had planned a visit to Coronado Island for her birthday. After all, she had no interest in poor neighborhoods, but the young lady put up with it to avoid any issues. It was summer, and the boat was packed with tourists. When the boat approached the port, Hector looked in his pocket for his wallet but couldn't find it. He searched other pockets, inquired if his daughter had seen it, and looked around. Hector had been back at the hotel for over 2 hours and had not received a call from anyone about his wallet. The tour boat staff were concerned because the millionaire could sue the transportation company, but no one was more concerned than Margarita. She knew that, besides cash, several credit cards in her father's wallet were required for her long-awaited birthday celebration. Hector reminded her that he was born in a poor neighborhood of Mexico City. Although plans to celebrate the anniversary had been thwarted, he and Margarita were safe in the comfort of a 5-star hotel. The millionaire's phone rang the following day, but it was a number he didn't recognize. When Hector answered, the person on the other end said he had his wallet and gave him an address that was a little outside of the tourist area. Margarita objected when she saw her father get up with a smile on his face. "Think about it, Dad. It may be a ruse or a trap," but Hector replied that it would be no problem. Margarita then summoned the security guard, who escorted them. The security guard appeared in Margarita's room and tried to persuade Hector not to go to that address. Still, Hector simply replied that he would trust his intuition and look for his wallet to continue the celebrations that were promised. So the three left the luxury hotel and proceeded to the nearby avenue. Finally, they arrived at the specified location, in a neighborhood full of very simple houses. The bodyguard refused to let Hector out of the car. That's when a child appeared, clutching the man's wallet in his small hands. He stood at the gate as the bodyguard delivered the item to the philanthropist. Hector quickly recognized it as his wallet, and when he opened it, he observed that all of his documents, cards, and money were still inside. The boy was about 13 years old, skinny, with bright eyes and worn-out clothes. The millionaire thanked the boy for returning his wallet. The boy took advantage of the well-dressed man's friendliness and asked for $2. Margarita started laughing nervously when she heard this. "Dad, give him all of the money right away before his cronies show up. Let's get out of here." Margarita's reaction embarrassed the boy, so he explained, "It's not like that, Mom. I just don't have a phone, so I had to use the only money I had to call you from a public phone. I spent the night begging but received nothing. So I used my savings to buy my sister a cupcake as it's her birthday tomorrow." The boy, named Paul, lived on the streets with his mother and sister for over a year. A few blocks away, where the rest of his family was, there was a space where several homeless people gathered to spend the night. Paul recalled having a birthday and the cake his mother baked to celebrate when they were still living in a small apartment. It was the boy's first and only party. Margarita couldn't stop crying as she put her hands on her chest. The girl, who had previously been afraid of that place and suspicious of the boy's intentions, now felt ashamed for making such hasty judgments. Margarita surprised everyone by handing Paul a card from the luxury hotel she was staying in, instructing him, his mother, and his sister to visit the next day. She asked her father for permission before opening his wallet and handing the boy $300 bills. "Paul, please use this money to buy clothes for yourself and your family." Paul, his sister Cindy, and his mother Elizabeth made it to a clothing store early the next morning. They left the place with brand new clothes and a good feeling. When they arrived at the place, they were led to a garden with a green lawn and a table decorated with flowers and colorful decorations. Paul's sister described it as the most beautiful place ever. Margarita responded by saying it meant everything to her, and the girl couldn't stop smiling. Hector understood that one birthday party would not suffice to help the family, so he took Elizabeth to his hotel's manager. The millionaire expressed his surprise that her son had returned the wallet in the same condition in which it was found, despite the hardships he and his family faced. The hotel manager then implied that he might be able to help her. The man then explained that they needed to renew the staff, which should be led by someone with integrity and confidence. She had never imagined that she would set foot into a hotel like that, and now she was attending her daughter's birthday party and being offered a job. The following week, a new chapter in that family's life began. Hector and Margarita, on the other hand, continued their planned trip, but nothing provided the same happiness that Margarita felt during the party in the hotel's garden. When she looked at her father, she realized why he was never satisfied with simply being a millionaire. Doing good for others was what made him happy, and she understands it now.